UFC Shanghai best bets for this early Saturday morning. Johnny Walker, Mingyang Zhang in the main event. But again, we've got our 5 best bets for this entire card. Before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more weekly UFC and PFL content. Hell, we've posted every single day this week on the channel. Next week, we've only got the Contender Series, but we will have those Contenders predictions up, and we'll get some other stuff going on the channel next week before UFC Paris. But again, make sure that subscribe button down below for more. We also have our Road to the UFC predictions out. We did post those yesterday with Shi Ming and Bruna Brazil in the main event. Go make sure to check that out. That card is later tonight, so go make sure to check out that video, and go make sure to check out this card as well, this full card predictions. This card's tonight too. We've got in the main event Fabian Edwards versus Dalton Rosta. Make sure to go check out both those videos linked in the description down below. Greedo plays MMA. We have got our college football predictions. You might want to watch that because you're gonna see later in the video. We're doing something different today. You'll see it. And also our MLB best bets daily on Greedo Plays, the main channel. Link in the description down below. Okay, again, we'll get back to the college football in a second. You'll see why. Our first best bet, though, of the video is the over total rounds in the Weston Wilson fight. Yes, Weston Wilson versus Yeiza. I'm going over. I was very tempted to go fight to go the distance at plus 500. I'm still considering it. I might sprinkle. The best bet here, though, is over 1.5 total rounds. Last week, we cashed on under 2.5 total rounds. That was between Kaya Sakura and Tim Elliott. Now, I didn't think that's how we were going to get it. I thought we were going to get it with Kaya Sakura knocking out Tim Elliott. But I said there was a chance Tim Elliott submits him, and that's what happened. So, hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. 2 weeks ago, we had the under in the Toshiomi Kazama Elijah Smith fight. Elijah Smith, Quentin Rampage Jackson slammed him on his head. So we're going with the over this time around. I don't think there's going to be a finish in the Yeiza Weston Wilson fight. Like I said earlier in the week with my predictions video, I just think Yeiza dominates. I don't think he gets Weston Wilson out of here. I don't believe so. There is a threat of the knockout, sure. Because Weston Wilson, he is from Simpsonville, South Carolina. He's out of that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gym, and he's a karate guy. He's coming off a submission victory over Jekka, and none of Weston Wilson's fights so far in the UFC have gone past that first round as he got knocked out, and this is just brutal matchmaking against Joanderson Brito in his first fight, and then he fought John Silva in his next one and lost by first round knockout. I have been really down on Weston Wilson, and I think for good reason, because he doesn't pass the eye test. I understand he's fighting good guys and power-hitting Brazilians and Brito and John Silva. I get that. And John Silva obviously is arguably a fight away from the title if he's able to beat Diego Lopez at Noche. I could be a little too harsh on Weston Wilson. I don't know. Yeah, he's looked horrible in those fights, but you give him someone not named Joanderson Brito and someone not named Gene Silva, and he wins. Albeit it's against Jekka. Weston Wilson gets the fight down to the ground, triangle arm bars Jekka, and ultimately wins the bout as he was going from submission to submission. And that's the thing, right? Weston Wilson's from that, upstate karate team. Is that what they call it? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gym. Is it upstate karate? I feel like it is. He's from the Simpsonville, South Carolina gym with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So sure, he's got the karate background. He's more of a grappler, though. He's more of a jiu-jitsu guy. He's got 5 knockout victories. It is upstate karate. Okay, yes. 12 submission wins in the past. Again, is Weston Wilson a UFC fighter? I don't think so. Fought Teruto Ishihara in XMMA a couple fights before getting to the UFC and got knocked out in XMMA against Teruto Ishihara. XMMA was everything we were promised with the GFL, but XMMA just disappeared after 6 cards. If XMMA ever ran another card, I would do a full card predictions video on the channel. I just didn't do it back in 2022 and 2023 because I was doing these videos on my main channel, and I just did UFC and Bellator predictions back then, and PFL. But, yeah, dude, XMMA had Jared Gooden versus Impa Kasanganay co-main eventing cards. Austin Hubbard, Julian Lane. I mean, there were fights. Anyways, I believe that Weston Wilson can go the distance with Yeiza here. Again, we're not even banking on that. We just need the fight to go over 7.5 minutes. I think is very doable, guys. Yeiza's not some crazy finisher, and he's not some crazy power threat either. Guys, Yeiza's 0-2 in the UFC. Lost to Gabriel Santos back in September of 2024, and lost to Jiyoung Lee back in February of 2023 on that initial Road to the UFC finale card. And sure, he worked his way back into the promotion by winning the Road to the UFC again, winning 3 consecutive fights after losing to Jiyoung Lee. He's an 0-2 guy in the UFC. And most of his fights go to decision. We were expecting him to knock out Weston Wilson. I don't know, because guys, Yeiza's a grappler. And okay, here's the thing. As Joe Rogan says, that's his world down there, legitimately. Like, that's where Weston Wilson wants fights. So do I think that Yeiza's just going to be able to dominate and get a submission? No. Striking-wise, I'm not overly impressed with Yeiza's striking. Guys, what Weston Wilson will do, he's a long, lanky guy for 145 pounds. And sure, Yeiza's a minus 1,500 favorite. I said at the beginning of the week, too, I was like, all right, I'm not betting on Weston Wilson. For the value, though, it might be worth sprinkling on plus 800 for Weston Wilson. I don't think he's going to win because I think Yeiza's the much stronger guy. But Weston Wilson, okay, if he's just trying to survive early in the fight, which he should do, because I believe if you're Weston Wilson, you don't want to get knocked out in the first round. Well, you don't ever want to get knocked out, but especially not in the first round. Use your reach. Use your height. You're 6'1". This dude's 5'7". And sure, again, it's different once they're on the ground. I think Weston Wilson's grappling is good enough to survive positionally against Yeiza and survive with submissions against Yeiza. Striking-wise, too, I think he's going to be all right. I'm perfectly fine with the over here. Again, I would consider sprinkling plus 500 on fight to go the distance. But over 1.5 total rounds is plus 130. I think they're looking at Weston Wilson's last 3 fights in the UFC. And okay, they've never gotten out of the first. That's fair. Yeiza doesn't finish fights. And he's not some power-hitting threat. At least we haven't seen that yet. And I don't think his grappling's that much better than Weston Wilson. I'm going over 1.5 total rounds at plus 130. Weston Wilson is just staring into my soul with this picture. Let's go on to our second best bet of the video. All right, guys, here we go. I told you we were going to reference some college football today, okay? I'm doing this because I don't like a second leg on this card. There is a fight I'll get to later, but we have it on the we have it on the list, okay? Like, I didn't want to. Okay, so the first leg of the parlay is Rongju. Okay, I feel like Rongju is pretty good to beat Austin Hubbard this week. I will talk about it in a second. I couldn't find a piece to parlay it with. Okay, Michel Pereira. I don't feel confident enough to do Michel Pereira. I said at the beginning of the week too. Like, I think Michel Pereira is gonna win. I wouldn't bet on it. Sergey Pavlovich. I think he's gonna beat Waldo. I don't feel good enough to parlay it. Okay, I don't. And yes, I would parlay Rongju before I would parlay Sergey Pavlovich. The Kiefer Crosby fight, it's a minus 340 favorite for Tailike. It's not going to get us good value. Instead, we're going to parlay Rongju with, hold on, guys, Western Kentucky minus 2.5 at home against Sam Houston State. So, again, that's an alt line we're playing with Western Kentucky. They are 10.5-point favorites at home in Bowling Green, Kentucky against those Sam Houston Bearcats. I'm not going to waste much of your time with college football because, again, if you want to hear why I think Western Kentucky is going to win, go check out the main channel, Greedo Plays. I talked about that game for like 7 minutes, and like I do for every single game every single week. Trust me, it gets going during the season. But Western Kentucky is not going to lose to Sam Houston. It's on their own home turf. Last year, Sam Houston was way better than WKU, and by the way, Western Kentucky's got much better in the portal. Sam Houston went the other way. Western Kentucky last year went to Sam Houston. When Sam Houston was having a great year with Hunter Watson at quarterback, he's back, but WKU goes there and beats them by 17 points in a game that they weren't supposed to win at Sam Houston. Now the game's at Western Kentucky week 0. Don't like that at all for Sam Houston, and we just need WKU to cover 2.5 points, which should be easy, guys. This team, worst case, they win by a field goal, we cover. That's the first, actually, that's going to be the second leg of the parlay because this fight's obviously early on Saturday morning. We're going with the first leg of the parlay being Rongju to beat Austin Hubbard, okay? Guys, Austin Hubbard in 2025 is not a guy I'm scared of. In all fairness, have I ever been scared of Austin Hubbard? Well, if I saw him in the street and he wanted to fight me, probably would be scared of Austin Hubbard. Like, yeah, Austin Hubbard walks the same weight I do. Like, I'm not going to come out here and say I could beat Austin Hubbard in a fight. I couldn't. Okay? Like, Austin Hubbard, I mean, he'd probably just he'd probably try to point fight me in the street. No, I'm kidding. I have nothing against Austin Hubbard. But, like, he probably would try to point fight me, right? He probably would. I think I could, like, survive better than Max Roscoff, right? No, I'm joking. Guys, Austin Hubbard's lost 4 of 5. And that is dating to that first stint in the UFC, but he gets cut in 2021 after he loses to Vince from Hell Pichel, a 39-year-old Vince Pichel. He then loses to a 38-year-old Kurt Holloway. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but an older Kurt Holloway in the Ultimate Fighter finale card. He gets by Michael Figlak, loses to Alexander Hernandez in a close fight, but we all thought Alexander Hernandez won, and then loses a close fight to Marco Medeiros. Again, Medeiros deservedly got the nod. He's fighting Rongju now. Rongju has so much experience. He's had more, guys, Rongju's 25 years of age. He's had more professional fights than the 33-year-old Austin Hubbard. Rongju is 26-6. This is walk number 33 in the career for Rongju. He's not losing. second stint in the UFC. He's been better. First loss, Chris Padilla. Chris Padilla is really good. Beats Cody Steele in his last fight and looks really good in doing so, beating Steele by unanimous decision. A really big win and a good fight from Rong Zhu, getting that one done in Australia. 125 significant strikes, and Cody Steele wins every single round. It gets a knockdown in the fight again, wins fight of the night too. I'm just really impressed with Rong Zhu right now. I am. Austin Hubbard, I don't think he's gonna be able to take down. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna be able to take down Rong Zhu. Rong Zhu's takedown defense is getting better, 84%. Austin Hubbard on the feet against Rong Zhu, don't like it. I think Rong Zhu wins that striking battle. Ultimately, we picked Rong Zhu to win the fight by unanimous decision. Not going off of that. I think it's an easy 30-27 nod for him. This fight to me feels like, and we said it earlier, right? This fight to me feels like, Chinese fighter on the card. There's a bunch of them, but you get a Chinese fighter here versus an American, and they get a lower level guy from the States to go fight Rong Zhu. Okay, just a fight where we get the Chinese fighter over in, right? I mean, on Tapology, 92% of voters are going with the Chinese-born Rong Zhu over the 8% for Austin Hubbard. We know one thing about Austin Hubbard, right? He's not going to tire. He's a guy who does train at elevation in Colorado. Give him credit for that, but I think Rong Zhu wins a decision. Worst case, he wins the first 2 rounds and then takes off the third. I believe Rong Zhu, though, is going to win every single round. Give me the Chinese Rong Zhu to win 3 rounds to nothing, and also Western Kentucky -2.5. That gets you to -135 on a parlay. I like it. Third best bet of the video might be our most ambitious pick, but hear me out. Kevin Borhas to beat Sumadargi. This is not a case of, we just need the Chinese fighter to win. Nope, no, it's not. Sumadargi versus Kevin Borhas. I think I'm higher on, the nickname is El Gallo Negro. Again, I said this at the beginning of the week. Is his nickname legitimately the Black Cock? I'm calling it how it is, right? Like that's, I took minimal Spanish, but I'm pretty sure that's what that means. I get it's rooster, but like, come on. That means the black cock, does it not? I don't know. Anyways, I'll stop. I'm taking Kevin Borhas to beat Sumadargi in this fight. Borhas is coming off the win over Ronaldo Rodriguez in Mexico. Right, Ronaldo Rodriguez came off a victory where they robbed Ode Osborne, just like they robbed Ode against Steve Erceg. But Borhas fights Ronaldo Rodriguez after Ronaldo Rodriguez fights on the main card of the Sphere. They only have 10 fights in the Sphere. Ronaldo Rodriguez is on the main card of a pay-per-view and beats Ode Osborne. Robbed him, but still. They put him up against Kevin Borhas right away, and Borhas beats him. Borhas wins a unanimous decision, and he drops Ronaldo Rodriguez in that fight. Okay. Sumadargi's a guy with, I think, a worsening chin. I'll say this, okay? Sumadargi's taken some damage in his career. He has. Charles Johnson fight was not easy. Charles Johnson drops him, and Johnson ultimately wins the fight. The damage Sumadargi takes at the end of the Matt Schnell fight, oh man, brutal. Crazy fight, right? And he puts the beating on Matt Schnell early. Schnell responds and comes back. Guys, Sumadargi's lost 3 of 4 fights too. He beat Mitch Raposo in his last one, shut down Raposo striking-wise on the feet. On the ground, he struggled. It was a split decision. I thought Sumadargi won. I don't know how you give that fight to Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo does no damage. Like, I don't get it, Sumadargi wins a split decision. He should have easily got the unanimous nod, but he struggled grappling-wise against Raposo. Again, Raposo did no damage with that. You're not going to see that threat. Kevin Borhas does not wrestle, and I think Kevin Borhas is going to be more than excited to get a guy who's not going to wrestle him either. Now, Sumadargi, he's 5'8". I feel like Sumadargi's taller than 5'8", just watching the guy fight. Again, Borhas is 5'5", Sumadargi's 5'8". I feel like Sumadargi's going to look a little bit bigger than 5'8" in there. To me, again, feels like a 5'9"-ish, 5'10"-ish flyweight. Could be wrong. Did just fight small guys in his career, I'll be honest, like not Josh Fan fight. The fight he fought against Zaruk Adeshev. Zaruk Adeshev is small as hell, isn't he? Adeshev's 5'4", 5'5". Malcolm Gordon was never the tallest guy. I don't know. I think Borhas is going to be okay here, though, because on the field, I do think Borhas is a better striker than Sumadargi, guys. Sumadargi, to me, again, chin's not as good as it once was. Like, the Charles Johnson fight, again, only got dropped once, but still, there's only so much damage you can take. The Tim Elliott fight got subbed right away. Matt Schnell fight gets dropped in a war. Sumadargi also, too, like, fought quite a bit in WF wars and just fought a bunch of, straight kickboxing bouts in WF wars, and what I mean by that, just fighting guys pure stand-up wise. And guys, has Sumadargi ever been good? I remember when he fought early in his UFC run, and I didn't start making UFC videos until 2020, but remember when we had him and Malcolm Gordon in the Apex, and I think I took I might have taken Malcolm Gordon to beat him. I may have. Was that Gordon's first fight? No, it wasn't. We saw him lose to Albazi, so I definitely took Sumadargi. And I didn't know how good Albazi was at the time, in all fairness. But I remember when I was talking about Sumadargi versus Malcolm Gordon, I was like, okay, if Sumadargi in the UFC, he's 1-1. Why is he here? He lost to Luis Smoka in his first fight in November of 2018, and then 2 months prior to that, he lost a fight in WLF Wars. And you look at everyone Sumadargi's fought prior to the UFC, guys. Going into the UFC, Sumadargi had been a 1-2 fighter, an 0-1 fighter, and an 0-2-1 fighter before losing to an 11-5 guy in WLF Wars, and then losing to Luis Smoka. And sure, he put together his little run to make him ranked at one point in time. Guys, who's this guy's best win? Malcolm Gordon is your best win? He's 4-4 in the UFC with victories over Andrei Sokomov, the guy who took down Sean O'Malley after breaking O'Malley's leg. Malcolm Gordon, who retired after 3 fights in the UFC. Zaruk Adeshev, who's like 3-4 professionally, not just in the UFC, like in his career went 3-4. And Mitch Raposo. It's probably Raposo. But Raposo's a New England Cartel guy, and we know New England Cartel is filled with absolute can crushers. They get to the UFC and they suck, all of them. Connor Matthews. Font and Cater are the exceptions, but Cater's washed. Like, guys, New England Cartel, oh my goodness, that gym is just, I don't know, fighting in Cage Titans / CES, it doesn't really work well for you up in that New England northeastern region. I don't know. Something about that Massachusetts regional scene. Sumadargi doesn't have a good win. Borhas is going to beat him, and Borhas is going to outstrike him. I'm going Kevin Borhas by whatever way he wants it, well, striking-wise. Borhas decision. We're not playing the decision part. Just give me money line plus 135 for Kevin Borhas. El Gallo, the Black Rooster. There we go. Kevin Borhas by decision, money line plus 135. All right, our fourth best bet of the video. Here's my guy, Aljamain Sterling. Okay. I'm not doing this because, again, I'm a big Aljo guy, and there's not many fighters in the roster I like more than Aljamain Sterling. I mean, I can't really name that many. The only one I can really name off the top of my head, and again, obviously I know my favorite fighters list. The one guy I'd probably hold in a higher regard than Aljamain Sterling is Dricus du Plessis. Maybe not even. Like, guys, I've been an Aljo fan for a very long time, okay? I've been a huge fan of Aljamain Sterling. And I'm not going to put that, well, I am kind of, okay. I am thinking, Aljo's going to win, regardless of how much of a fan I am of the guy. But as someone, hear me out. Someone who has watched Aljamain Sterling throughout his entire career, okay? Watching him get kneed in the face by Marlon Moraes in Fresno, California back in 2017. I was not at that fight, but watching that on Fox Sports 1, like, I have followed the entire career of the Funk Master, okay? I did think after he beat Pedro Munoz, he was going to become a world champion, and that's exactly what happened. They didn't even put him on the main card of that. That was so ridiculous. I remember that. UFC 238, Aljo gets put on the undercard. Whatever. Beats Pedro Munoz, beats Sandhagen, gets the title, obviously. For someone who has watched the entire career of Aljamain Sterling unfold from the minute that basically he's been signed to the UFC, yes, I'm talking about the Brian Caraway fight and whatnot. He lost that one, but he's not going to lose to Brian Ortega. How is Brian Ortega going to out-wrestle Aljamain Sterling? I don't know. And this is why this line's so great, minus 145. Guys, the line for Aljo to win by submission or decision is minus 185. I don't see it. I love Aljo. I don't think Aljo's subbing Brian Ortega. Last time Aljo subbed anybody was Corey Sandhagen back in 2020, which is a fight that keeps on aging better and better. And guys, I'm just saying, if for some stretch of the imagination, Corey Sandhagen beats Merab Dvalishvili, there is an easy pathway back for Aljamain Sterling to go back down to 135 and fight for the world title. It's not going to happen because Merab's not losing to Corey Sandhagen, but if it does and Aljo beats Ortega, if I'm Aljamain Sterling, I'm saying, all right, give me one more chance at 135. Never got my rematch. Merab, sit this one out real quick. I'm going to go down and I'm going to fight Sandhagen. Sandhagen's not going to beat Merab, but if he does, I wouldn't mind if the Funk Master got one more shot at 135. Again, I think Aljo can potentially be a champion at 145 pounds. I'm just concerned about his age and how many fights it's going to take him to get to the world championship at 145 pounds. Again, we'll get to that in a second. He's not losing to Brian Ortega. So again, I don't get why the odds are even worse for him to win by decision or sub. I think there's a way better chance he wins by TKO. TJ Dillashaw style, right? Takes him down, completely ground pounds him. I get it. Dillashaw, separated his shoulder prior to the fight and whatnot, but I mean, Aljo dominated that. Striking wise, I think it's tight. I think Aljo's got really good striking and underrated striking. People forget, he went out there against Sean O'Malley and outstruck Suga in the first round. He got too confident with his hands, didn't shoot for a takedown in the second, and got knocked out, obviously. And it is what it is. The rest is history. But Aljo is an underrated striker. Brian Ortega got knocked out like 3 times in the Diego Lopez fight. Got woken back up, obviously, via getting knocked out or getting hit in the face. Ortega does not have that clear of a striking advantage. I don't even know if he has one. I think Aljo's right there with him in the striking. And the point I made why I think Aljo is going to win, and why I still think Aljo is going to win, is the fact that, okay, Brian Ortega's got great jiu-jitsu. He's never been the best wrestler. Why hasn't Brian Ortega ever touched gold? He's never been able to wrestle. Why was Aljamain Sterling so successful, 135 pounds? Why did Aljamain Sterling win the championship and become the greatest bantamweight ever until Merab Dvalishvili took that title? Oh, it's because he had world-class jiu-jitsu, and he is one of the best wrestlers to step foot in the octagon. Watch how he fights Movsar Evloev. Aljamain Sterling beats Movsar Evloev, and if Movsar Evloev's name was, I don't know, Jay White, that's an AEW wrestler. I was thinking Jay Williams. I was like, oh, it's a basketball player. If his name was Switchblade Jay White, Aljamain Sterling gets that decision, okay? Just because he's Evloev and he's undefeated and he's Russian and, oh, we need to keep the Russians going, whatever. I don't actually dislike Russia, okay? I'm just saying, like, it annoys me sometimes. Because Aljo should have won. Should have won that fight. It's okay. Look how competitive he is with Movsar Evloev. Brian Ortega would not be that competitive against Movsar. Oh, hell no. Because Ortega can't wrestle like that. Yeah, he can scramble some, but I'm telling you, Aljo's pressure is just going to be so huge in this fight. Five is 5 rounds. I think favors Aljamain. I think it does. Gives Aljamain more time. Aljamain's been in that 5-round environment more. I know Aljo has, throughout the course of his career, been really good rounds 1 through 3, and then 4 and 5, it's like, okay. You know, the Jan fight, lost rounds 4 and 5. Cejudo fight, did not win later rounds. I get it. I think Aljo wins the first 3, and I think we don't need to worry about 4 and 5. I think he's going to win all 5, I'm being honest, just because this fight's not going to be a crazy pace type out like Cejudo and like Jan was for Aljo. He'll just be able to ride top positioning. And I think, again, Aljo, I don't think he's going to look for subs as much because of Ortega's jiu-jitsu. I think he's going to look to punch. I think that's why Aljo, if he gets a finish, it's going to be by TKO. I believe it's going to be a dominant 5-round decision. I think Aljo wins every single round. I think 50-45, and I think we cash at -145. But I will take the double chance of TKO or by decision. Aljamain, the Funkmaster Sterling. Get him in the title picture, man. Get him a win. Aljo wins this fight. He needs to be an eliminator right away, okay? Aljo, I need to see Aljamain Sterling in a title fight this time next year. Talk later. On to our 5th best bet of the video. It is the main event. I'm gonna play this. I'm going to. Mingyang Zhang, first round knockout, specific method of victory and round bet. Mingyang Zhang, first round TKO/KO. I think he finishes Johnny Walker in the first round. With a straight face, you cannot tell me Johnny Walker's a serious threat at 205 pounds in 2025, because he's not. He's not. Johnny Walker's been knocked out too many times, and Mingyang Zhang's the future of the light heavyweight division. Do I think Mingyang Zhang's going to win a world championship? No, I don't think he's going to, okay? Against better strikers, he will get knocked out, I think. But against Johnny Walker, this is no problem for him, okay? It's no problem. Johnny Walker's coming off back-to-back knockout losses to Magomed Ankalaev, that was second round, and then a first-round loss to Volkan Oezdemir in his last bout. Mingyang Zhang goes through everybody. He beat Anthony Lionheart-Smith in the emotional retirement bout earlier in the year in Omaha, Nebraska. Beat him by first-round TKO. He beat Ozzy Diaz in his second fight in the UFC by first-round knockout. Beats Brendan Hibeto by knockout in his first fight. Beats Tuco Tokos in the road to the UFC by first-round knockout. Again, do you see a theme here? None of this guy's fights get out of the first round. And look at the chin on Johnny Walker. You thought Johnny Walker's chin was gone after he got hit over the top of the head against Jamal Hill and knocked out. You thought his chin was gone then? Oh, it's gone now. It's gone. Dude's career's never been the same since Corey Anderson, where, Corey Anderson said, there's levels to this. Which there were. And by Corey Anderson knocking out anybody's crazy. At least back then. Especially on the feet. We should have known, okay? Johnny Walker's now been knocked out 4 times in the UFC. Is it 5? It's 4, right? Yeah. Hill, Anderson, Ankalaev, Oezdemir. Again, it's not a good thing when you're coming off back-to-back knockout losses. Johnny Walker should have gone to heavyweight. I think he still should go to heavyweight. I know what you're thinking, oh, guys hit harder up there. No, but guys are unathletic. They're fat. They're horrible, okay? Josh Hokett said some controversial stuff. I'm not going to speak on the controversial stuff. The Ultimate Hoke division. That's cool, I guess. But, all right, dude. It's funny, I guess. Some of the stuff he said, I'm not gonna speak on it. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. But Josh Hokett was right on the fact that, okay, heavyweights are fat, they don't know how to wrestle, and I said it earlier in the week. Maybe Josh Hokett watched my video. I don't know. I said Josh Hokett's gonna be very good in the UFC because he has a style that a lot of guys don't have. Guys, not gonna tangent here. Look at what Nick Maximov did in his one fight in the Contender Series at heavyweight, and look at the success he had at 185 right after. He wins a fight at heavyweight on the Contender Series because he fought a fat, unathletic heavyweight who couldn't wrestle, and then he was just a 1-3 guy at middleweight. Just saying, Josh Hokett's gonna be in the top 15 this time next year, I believe. Johnny Walker should go up there. He should. Because Johnny Walker will be able to stay on the outside, kick, jab, and he'll be able to beat a lot of heavyweights. Against light heavyweights and real fighters like Mingyang Zhang, he does not stand a chance. Mingyang Zhang is 6 years younger than Johnny Walker. He hits harder than Johnny Walker. He's got a chin on him, unlike Johnny Walker, and he's going to press forward, unlike what Johnny Walker's going to do tonight, okay, on Saturday morning. And the fight's in China. Yeah, it's in his home country. He's not losing. He's going to blitz Johnny Walker, and he's going to knock Johnny Walker out, just like Zhang Weili did to Jessica Andrade the last time a Chinese fighter fought a Brazilian fighter in the main event in China, okay? And also, guys, Brazilians don't fight well in China, at least in main events. Jessica Andrade lost here. Deiveson Figueiredo lost here. Johnny Walker's losing here as well. I guess we're just going to make Yan an honorary Chinese fighter for his last bout in Macau. Regardless, though, give me Mingyang Zhang to win in Shanghai, China. He's going to knock out Johnny Walker, and he's going to do it in the first round. It's a combination of Zhang's speed, his power, and the lack of a chin out of Johnny Walker all results in a Mingyang Zhang first-round TKO victory. Line is set at -110. I firmly believe that the Mountain Tiger is going to get it done. Give me Mingyang Zhang with the victory in the first round over Johnny Walker. So, folks, by TKO. And, folks, thank y'all for watching our UFC Shanghai best bets here on the channel. We'll be back in 2 weeks for UFC Paris Imavov versus Borhas. Again, we will have the Contender Series predictions out on probably Sunday or Monday. Not sure yet. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Monday or Tuesday Contender Series, and then probably Saturday at noon, we'll have our UFC Paris predictions. So make sure to look forward to that, folks, here on the channel. Main channel, Greedo Plays, other stuff going on there, college football and whatnot. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba forever.